Okay, I'm back. It's Family Kitchen with Mark time again. Long time, it's been a long time since I've done a video. And today's video, we're going to be doing chicken biryani. So I've been moving house actually. I've got a beautiful new kitchen, I've got a lovely new kitchen, wonderful view. I've got a really nice view here. So this is my view at the kitchen window. And I've actually got a bit of a garden. I've actually got a bit of a garden now, so don't know what to do in that garden at the moment. But anyway, to today's recipe. So we're going to be doing chicken biryani, which is chicken curry layered up with rice that we bake in the oven, and we're going to layer some fruit and nuts and some herbs in between the layers of chicken and curry. So let's get going. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare the rice. So what we're going to do is I'm going to wash the rice in cold water, and then I'm going to leave the rice soaking in cold water for 30 minutes. So this makes the rice, helps to make it light and fluffy and keep the grains separate. So wash and then leave soaking for 30 minutes. Then you drain the rice. And I've got my drained rice here. So I've just got a pot of boiling water, and I'm going to boil the rice for 6 to 7 minutes, and then I'm going to drain it. I'll chop up some onions. The onions don't have to be fine. So as the rice is boiling, so remember we're going to boil the rice for 6 to 7 minutes. Once it's cooked, we're going to drain it, and then we're going to put it onto a tray to cool. So we're not going to rinse the rice, because you're going to rinse out the flavour. Rice is an amazing flavour. This is just a basmati rice. So you could use another long grain rice or a jasmine rice. Basmati would be better though. So first of all, with the curry, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a curry, and then we're going to layer it up with the rice. So you could just have this curry by itself. We're going to start off with some butter. So I've got 60 grams of butter. We're going to melt the butter. So to the onions we're going to add coriander seeds, 1 teaspoon, and 6 cloves. We're also going to add some ground cinnamon, but I don't have a stick, otherwise I'd use a stick. So we're going to add those. We're going to add those to the onions. So we're going to add the cloves and the coriander seeds, and we're going to add the cinnamon. And we're just going to carry on cooking the onions for 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, so once the rice is cooked for 6 to 7 minutes, I'm just going to drain off the rice. This rice has got a little bit of salt in there as well. Now with that rice, drain off the excess water. And we're going to pour it onto a tray. And we just let that cool down. Okay, so you can see our onions are cooking off nicely, frying off nicely with the spices. I was going to show you our chicken that's been marinated. So this has been marinated all morning, and I'm using chicken breast, but you can use chicken thighs or chicken drumsticks. Actually having the bone is probably better. You get a lot more flavour on curries when you use the bone, but this chicken has got, there's obviously going to be recipes in the links. It's got yoghurt, turmeric, garlic, curry powder, some oil, and it's also got a mixture of spices including dry chilli, fennel, cumin, and I use a bit of rock salt in the marinade. So once my onions have been cooking for 6 to 7 minutes, I'm going to then add the chicken. So once we've cooked the chicken for a little bit, we're then going to add fresh tomatoes. Okay, so we're just going to cook that chicken, or have it in the pan for just a minute, and then we're going to add tomatoes. We'll stir the tomatoes through. I'm going to cook the chicken with the tomatoes for 5 minutes with no lid on. Okay, so next thing we're going to need is some chicken stock powder. So I'm just going to use a teaspoon of chicken stock powder, and I'm going to use 200 mils of water. 200 mils of water. Okay, so after that I'm now going to add 200 mils of coconut cream. And it can be any coconut cream you want. So I'm going to go with 200 of the coconut cream. So I'll wipe that spoon in there as well. Get that in there. Just get everything off the spoon. So you don't have to stir it straight away. I can just let the heat get up. And you can see what you don't want to happen is for the curry to be too watery. So you almost want it to be quite thick all the way through the cooking process. Okay, so I'm going to cook this now for 10 minutes. And in 10 minutes, the chicken breast will have cooked. But if you're using chicken thighs or chicken drumsticks, then just cook for 15 minutes. Remember, the chicken's going to cook for a little bit more in the rice anyway. So 15 minutes if you've got chicken on the bone. But I'm going to use, I'm using chicken breast. So I'm going to cook for 10 minutes. So I'm now going to cook for 10 minutes on a medium heat. Now don't forget to season. I put a little bit of salt in with my chicken marinade. So I'm going to wait for 5 minutes until it's going to be safe to taste the mixture, and then I'm going to season. The rice is cooling down just on the side, so we're not refreshing, or we're not cooling it with water. So I'm just going to keep the flavour in there. What happens though is the rice does need stirring a little bit as it's cooking. And I'll show you the view from my house, from my kitchen. I mean, I'm up on the first floor. This is my view. So this is it's Churton Park. So the name of the place where I'm now living is called Paparangi. So I'm in New Zealand, and this out my window, this area here is Churton Park. Churton Park. Yeah. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Well, it's not a gorgeous day today. It's supposed to be summer, but we've had almost a week of horrendous weather. So hopefully next week it will be better. Now halfway through, we're going to add some fresh ginger and some coriander. So with the ginger, I'm just going to use a spoon. So you can use a spoon just to peel it. So you do need to peel the ginger. I mean, if it was in a marinade, I could put it in that chicken marinade and take it out, or even leave it in the curry as it's cooking. But I just want to put it in at a later stage. So with 5 minutes of cooking gone and 5 minutes of cooking left, I'm adding my ginger. So what I want that is the ginger to be nice and pungent. Once it goes in with the mixes with the rice. So I'm going to grate that ginger. We've just got a teaspoon of ginger. And I've got some coriander. So the coriander, I've just washed it. Now, I'm not going to chop it fine. And I'm also using the stalks as well. So this is quite young shoots of coriander. So I'm just going to add the coriander and the ginger to the curry. So after 10 minutes, you can see that the curry is nice and thick. You don't want the curry too thick, but you also don't want it too thin. Okay, so our chicken curry is cooled down. It's like room temperature now. You can see it's thickened as it's cooled down. We've got our rice. We've got rice now. Rice is completely cold. Now we're also going to add some fresh coriander, some dry fruit, and I'm just using cranberries, dry cranberries. And then I've got this, and it's crispy shallots, and I just buy it at the spice shop. Now you can just do crispy onions, you just fry some onions in the pan, but the onions are really important in this recipe. Now I've got 125 mils of milk, and you could use saffron, but I'm a cheapskate, I'm using turmeric. Now additional extra, and this is just something I found these cherries in the fridge, so I'm going to add those. As I'm layering up the chicken and the rice, I'm going to add a few cherries and remove the seeds as I'm going. The oven is on 190 degrees and it's been preheated for 10 minutes. I've buttered this pot big enough for the mixture I need. So this would be about a 10 litre, well it is, it's not about anything. It is a 10 litre pot. We've got a 10 litre pot, and as you can see, I've very generously buttered the outside and bottom of the pot. Now you need to choose a pot with a tight fitting lid and big enough to contain all the layers of curry and rice. First thing we do, we layer the rice into the bottom of the pot. Now, you know my recipes, they're not really fussy on the measurements and the time. If you've got a little bit more layers of rice and they're not even, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to go there with a layer of rice, and then I'm going to get my curry. And remember, the curry doesn't want to be hot. I'm going to put a bit of curry. And then I'm going to go with some fruit. So we've got some dry cranberries. And I'm going to go with a few of my crispy onions or shallots. So it's quite a bit. And now remember, recipes will be in the links. So we've gone with 3 tablespoons of dry fruit, 3 tablespoons of crispy onions, and 3 tablespoons of fresh coriander. The cherries are extra, so I'm just going to pinch the stones out of those cherries. Just going to layer a few cherries into that biryani as well. Now it's ready for the next layer. Then we go with another layer of rice, so we're going to go more layer of rice, and I'm going to save enough rice for the top layer, so it's just the rice will be on the top layer. A little bit like the cheese sauce will be the top layer on a lasagna. Get that one over. Now I'm not going to push down on this, and keep it nice and fluffy, nice and light. Next thing I'm going to do, I've got my turmeric and milk. I'm just going to spoon that over the biryani. So spoon it over. Okay. So a bit of foil. And then we're going to add a lid. Now, this one's going to go in the oven. The oven's at 190 degrees, and we're going to cook it for 40 to 45 minutes until the rice is nice and fluffy. Let's do it. Okay, so the biryani's been cooking for 40 minutes, so 190, and we're just going to check it. Just going to see how it is. So, okay. So that looks ready. Okay, so the biryani's cooked now. It's been cooked for 45 minutes, and voila. And you can serve it with I've got a cucumber salad. I've just marinated the cucumbers for about half an hour, just in some dressing. And we've just got a nice bit of green salad with the cucumber. So, lovely. And here we have it. See the biryani, chicken biryani with cherries and fruit nuts and a nice bit of green salad. Delicious. Okay, so If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to Family Kitchen with Mark. We're back. I've got another video coming up on my mum's famous strawberry jam or freezer strawberry jam. The jam is more like a compote, so be warned.